The tiny house is not interesting simply because it is small. It is interesting because it uses brick as a breathing skin. Set in a dense residential context in Kerala, India, the house could not simply open itself to the outside. So the project creates a perforated brick facade, a climatic and visual filter that softens sunlight, allows cross-ventilation, protects privacy, and gives the compact house a warmer, deeper atmosphere. And this brick surface is not just a beautiful image for the street. It works almost like a breathable skin. Light comes in, but not harshly. Air passes through, but the house is not exposed. The street appears filtered, and domestic life remains protected. In a dense residential context, this choice makes a lot of sense. The lot has close neighbors, limited views, little natural light, and a clear need for privacy. The house could not simply open itself in every direction, as if it were on a wide open site. So it creates another strategy. Instead of opening completely, it filters. In a hot, humid region marked by intense light, opening everything with glass is not always the best answer. The perforated brick creates shade, allows cross-ventilation, and produces a more diffuse light inside. The house gains privacy without completely losing its relationship with air and daylight. The house is not organized as a tight plan full of divisions. It tries to maintain continuity. The spaces connect visually, light crosses more than one room, and the internal path opens gradually. The sense of spaciousness does not come from excess area, but the way the spaces relate to each other. The house does not reveal itself completely right at the entrance. First, there's the filter of the facade, then a more protected arrival. After that, brighter interiors, then the courtyard behind the stairs. This sequence makes the house feel richer in experience than in square footage. Micro-topping on the walls and floors creates cleaner, more uniform surfaces, helping the interior feel less fragmented. Exposed brick brings texture and warmth. Wood appears in the furniture, doors, and details, softening the house and bringing the interior closer to a domestic scale. The palette is restrained. Brick, wood, neutral tones, smooth surfaces, filtered light, and small moments of green. Nothing seems to depend on excess. The house does not try to compensate for its size with too many elements. It reduces the amount of information so that light, air, texture, and continuity can have more presence. The tiny house does not solve the lack of space by pretending to be large. It improves the quality of its limits. It works with the edge, with air, with shade, with light, and with the way the spaces connect. The name can be a little misleading. tiny house usually brings to mind extreme micro-homes, where everything is reduced to the minimum. Here, the idea is different. The house does not reduce life. It reorganizes life within real limits. In the end, this is a house about breathing. Breathing on a compact lot, breathing with close neighbors, breathing without being too exposed, breathing through brick, shade, the courtyard, and the internal void. The tiny house shows that a compact house does not need to be just a smaller version of a larger one. It can work in another way. It can protect itself without closing off. It can turn inward without becoming isolated. It can transform a perforated brick facade into a climatic, visual, and spatial filter. And it can prove that within limits, space does not only have to shrink, it can breathe.